Wanted to mention tomorrow morning quickly, just to point out, we're going to be talking about firearms just after the 9 o'clock news. We'll be joined by Forrest Anderson from Washington Street Pawn and Todd Eccles from Patriot Defense. And with Christmas coming, a lot to talk about. You're looking for something nice, shiny firearm. Well, you could buy something with a wooden stock, I suppose, too. But we can talk a little bit about some of those things tomorrow. And there's been a lot of news lately, too, about good guys with guns dispatching bad guys. So might be a little bit more discussion about that too at some point. There was a story out. You remember the shooting of the black man that caused all of the rioting? Well, it was really just discount shopping, of course, for liberals in Charlotte, North Carolina. I have a 14-page story in my stack here today, coming out of the Charlotte Observer, which is turns out a sister paper of the Idaho Statesman. I can tell by the same look in the website. But the prosecutor in that county and the state and all the other investigators looked into it, and the fellow who was involved that got shot and killed by police, he got out of his car when police stopped him and was holding a pistol in his hand. Now his friends had all said, "Oh, he was holding a book," but after they were questioned seriously, most of their testimony crumbled, and they admitted, "All right, we're lying." And as it turns out, this is becoming common, of course, in police work. There were cameras the police officers had, and sure enough, the guy's holding a gun. And he was told, put it down, and he wouldn't. And he was smoking a cigar that he'd hollowed out and tamped down a bunch of dope in it. And he had gotten the gun illegally from a friend who bought it for him because he said he was going to settle a score with his brother in law. So the police took out a very dangerous individual. The police officer fired 4 shots. Just one officer fired 4 shots. 3 hit their target. That is excellent shooting in a crisis, which shows you when they talk about muscle memory when it comes to your training, why these things are important. 924, Bill Colley with you on Top Story on News Radio 1310. KLIX and newsradio1310.com. And after a police officer was shot by a thug last night in Tacoma, and then the thug held 2 children as hostages and human shields, police finally went into the house, grabbed one of the kids, and as the thug was holding the other kid, a well-trained sharpshooter ended it for the thug. Children safe. And he will kill no more police officers. Not where he's going. Do want to remind you, if you're listening to our program today, I thank you very much. But if you're struggling to hear it, you need to be calling my friend Dr. Christine Pickup at Mount Harrison Audiology in Rupert. She reminds you that we're into this holiday season now, and there's a great many wonderful things about this time of year. We all recognize that. But if you're missing out on those moments because you're not hearing any of it, you need to be calling Dr. Pickup and making an appointment to address your hearing loss. And then you can actually enjoy the Christmas holiday, the New Year's holiday with family and friends, and all of the other special moments we have this time of year. Schedule your hearing health checkup at 312-0957. Life is worth hearing, she reminds you. That number once more, 312-0957. Speaking of the Christmas holiday, came across this from Fox this morning. I pulled it down from the Fox feed early today. I was looking it over. Uh, and a little personal story here. This is about the 12 Days of Christmas. What it would cost to actually finance all of those gifts from the song. Every year there's an update on this one. And let me just say, you better take a second job.
9 of the 12 gifts, including the French hens, the calling birds, the geese, and the swan, are either the same price or cheaper this year than last. The bling is unchanged, as is the payroll for the leaping lords, the milking maids, and the ladies dancing. The cost of pipers and drummers, both higher though, and the 2 turtle doves are $85 more. Altogether, the gifts would cost you $34,363, but that's only about $230 more than last Christmas, according to PNC Wealth Management, which has been tracking these costs for more than 30 years. Oh, and buying locally, much cheaper than online because of shipping costs. Jack Callahan, Fox News.
Yeah, but what do you do if you buy locally but still have to ship it across the country? So that's a question that needs to be asked. Secondly, how do they know what these maids of milking cost? Do they go down to like the old Mustang Ranch and ask somebody there? Anyway, it just some of these, and the Lords of Leaping. I'm sure lords probably feel they're more expensive than other people. But this human trafficking stuff, it's got to stop. The song originally, and this is an apocryphal story, I suppose, but the song actually, according to a lot of the lore that surrounds it, it's a very old song, hundreds of years old, that it goes back to the reign of Henry VIII, that it was created because when it became a crime to be a Roman Catholic in England, you needed to teach young people, young Roman Catholic children about their faith. So the song is actually filled with a lot of metaphors and secret meanings, and it was one way around that. The other part, it has undergone a huge change in some of the language because the language used in the 1600s obviously has changed. Some words fall out of favor. We wouldn't even know the meaning of some of them today. So in one stanza, when it says four calling birds, well, what it blazes is a calling bird. It shows up at your house, ding dong, yeah, I just came a calling. Or in the middle of something, the phone rings and there's a bird on the other end. No, no, no. It's because the original lyric is not calling birds. The original lyric is for Colley birds, spelled Colley. Why is that? Well, because in some forms of Gaelic, Old Gaelic, Colley is a word for black. So it's for blackbirds. But for Colley birds, they needed that extra syllable in there for the music to meet, match the beat and everything else. So they call it for Colley birds instead of for blackbirds, and which probably could have gotten baked into a pie. I had a old relative of mine. He's long gone. Was a great guy. Got his feet frozen fighting in World War II in the Battle of the Bulge, by the name of Hugh Lockwood, and Hugh was one of the last practitioners of eating blackbird pie. I can remember him telling my brother, though, how to prepare it. My brother came home and told me, and I just sat there and thought, yeah, but why would you? um, but he was a wonderful man, and I loved old recipes. But that's true. That name was changed because in this day and age, nobody knew what a collie bird was. Now, no relation to me, by the way, because that form of Gaelic is Welsh, and my name actually in Irish Gaelic is Ciulla, and I still don't know how to pronounce that. We've got more coming up in just a few minutes. Bill Colley with you on Top Story on News Radio 1310 KLIX and newsradio1310.com. It's 31. Speaking of the holidays, things we might want to remember this time of year when it comes to giving to charity. Some are good, some, on the other hand, maybe not so good. Details ahead.